This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
Continuing the conversations this morning, we turn to Kogi State via Abuja and the EFCC, where the daring escape of Yahya Bello last week has continued into questions regarding the role of the current Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo in the proceedings. Last week, Governor Usman Ododo broke through an EFCC cordon and allegedly took the accused, Yahya Bello, with him when he left. Now, we are speaking this morning with legal practitioner and public affairs analyst Justice Ojeno, who joins us to speak on issues such as the immunity clause and what the actions of the current Kogi State Governor mean for Nigeria. Mr. Ojeno, good morning and thank you for joining us on the conversation.
Good morning to you and good morning to our listeners all across the world. It's a pleasure.
Indeed. What do you make of the assist that Governor Usman Ododo provided for Mr. Yahya Bello in the standoff that occurred last week in Abuja with the EFCC?
I think it's a terrible one. It leaves a very terrible sore taste in the mouth, especially given the fact that pursuant to Section 214 of our Constitution and 215, the governor of the state is supposed to be the chief law officer of the state. When the House of Assembly passes a law in the state, he's the one that's supposed to sign it into law, including criminal laws. What Mr. Ododo did, of course, allegedly, as his spokespersons have come out to say, is very, very terrible and a bad example of what anybody that is put in charge of some rule of law should be found to be doing. I feel that it is very, very wrong. In the least, it is obstruction of justice. And it is so shameful that our politics has gotten to a level where persons can do such a terrible thing. In other crimes, he would have been handcuffed and bundled to jail. So I feel very, very bad about it. I feel it's a very, very shameful one. And the fact that it was done by the governor of a state, in a manner of speaking, showing loyalty to whoever it is that brought him to power. And it also goes to show who appoints persons, where elections are even have any worth in this country. So for me, it's so shameful and so painful.
Mr. Ojeno, let's head directly to the conversation around immunity and how that affects this particular conversation. In the event that the EFCC decides that this is a conversation worth having around legal proceedings, what does the immunity clause, what role does the immunity clause play in Governor Ododo's actions, alleged actions?
For me, I think it's unfortunate that the way Section 308 immunity is couched is almost in absolute terms. It's almost in absolute terms to the point where, of course, at the time, Obasanjo was saying that he would raise it and enter into the dock to give testimony. But aside that, I don't even think that anybody has the power to raise it. Even the governor cannot raise it because there's no provision for that in our constitution.
Right.
So what that means is that whatever legal proceedings that's going to be incited or instituted against him has to be post when he leaves that particular office. But in IMB and Tinubu, one thing that the court established was that during the pendency of him holding the office, he can be investigated. So the best EFCC can do on this matter is to investigate it and keep the file of their findings in a pristine state, so that the day he loses the toga or he puts on the toga of maybe governor or any other immunized position, they can proceed to prosecute him just like Yahya Bello is facing now. And I feel strongly that the governor, the Ododo man, should be made to face the music as an example of the fact that whoever is made in a manner of speaking emperor pursuant to Section 308 and who cannot be tossed because of the Section 308, they can be made example of that. There is a day you put it off, and the day you put it off, you face the music.
So,
just like Donald Trump is probably facing at the international stage now.
So I want to understand, is there a statute of limitations in the event that Governor Ododo goes on to get into any other public office, say the Senate, for instance? Is there a statute of limitations that prevents the EFCC from prosecuting him?
Okay, let me just say this straight and flat out. With criminal matters, there is no statute of limitation. Of course, there is limitation for contract, there is limitation for land matters and all, for debt recovery too. But with crime, it can be prosecuted in 100 years' time. And with Section 308, there are just 4 persons or four offices that are protected: the president, vice president, governor, deputy governor. So if he doesn't get into any of such offices, there is no protection for him, and he can be prosecuted at any time.
Mr. Ojeno, thank you very much for speaking with us this morning. Our guest is Justice Ojeno, a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, and he joined us this morning to speak on the alleged role of the incumbent governor of Kogi State, Governor Usman Ododo, in the evasion of Yahya Bello from the EFCC's attempted arrest last week.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.